Good afternoon. It is Monday, February 17th. Welcome to Panther News Network. I'm Gabby Handcock.
And I'm Khamari, Stewart, and here's your news for today.
A recent case with a woman who was accused of hitting and killing a bicyclist before getting arrested at Bush Airport after the incident has been dismissed. The woman in name question is Nyla Gambo, who was accused of killing the bicyclist, Adrian Johnson, back in December. Authorities had claimed they had found surveillance footage that showed Johnson cycling in front of a dark-colored Cadillac. Assistant Chief Toby Hecker noticed that there was no brake lights before or after it, kind of sped up. Gamboa was charged with failure to stop and render aid involving death. She has been arrested at Bush Airport while trying to board a flight heading out of state. However, according to court documents, the charges were recently dropped due to insufficient evidence.
In other news, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have laid off thousands of government employees this week. Their actions come at a critical condition while staffs are having shortage and increased demand for its services. It's called the Department of Government Efficiency, which allows only one employee to be hired for every four that department. This sequence is intended to reduce the workforce by 75%, and they will be taking around $120 billion from the VA's medical services.
In case you didn't know, PV introduced computer technology courses in 1977. Throughout the past decades of these courses being available, they have grown in size significantly. What PV hopes to do with these courses and computer technology programs is to guide and prepare their students who wish to have careers in tech. PVAMU is now continuing to lead with top-tier programs in computer science, cybersecurity, data science, and fast-track BS/MS programs.
On Sunday, February 16, 2025, at approximately 5:10 a.m., the Prairie View A&M University Police Department received information regarding a sexual assault. The victim reported that on Saturday, February 15, 2025, at approximately 9:38 p.m., she and a friend arrived at a party at University Village. The victim stated at approximately 11 o'clock p.m. she had gone to the restroom and did not know how long she was in the restroom. However, when the victim walked out of the restroom, she had a pain and pressure in her genital area. The victim stated that she had her friends take her home and then called a family member to come pick her up. The identity of the suspect is unknown and the investigation is ongoing.
This has been Panther News Network. Please stay tuned and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Thank you for remaining with us. Here's the rest of your news for today.
Former basketball star from Jackson State University, Angel Jackson, has been signed with Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball. This accomplishment officially makes her the first player from a historically black college or university to compete in this league's four-season history. Jackson's first started building her resume at the University of Southern California, then later finished her collegiate career at Jackson State. During her time with the Tigers, she was recognized as back-to-back Southwestern Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Athletes Unlimited is known for having an innovative system that encourages a competitive edge, and Jackson is currently playing alongside two-time WNBA champions Kirsten Bell and Odyssey Sims. Even Jackson's former head coach at Jackson State stated, What makes Angel so special is she's big. She can run the floor, she can play with her back to the basket and read total landscape, but the special part is she can shoot the outside shot. She's got a game away from the rim, and that's not something that you see every day in her height and in her position. Jackson even stated, I want more HBCU players to be drafted because we really have some real dogs in the HBCU conferences. AU is hosting an HBCU night on February 20th to celebrate Black History Month and to highlight Jackson's historic signing.
Rapper Travis Scott revealed through his Cactus Jack Foundation that he will be awarding $1 million to 100 students to ensure that they will graduate this year. This year marks the second year that Travis has assisted multiple students from different schools, such as Alabama A&M University, Central State University, Florida A&M University, Jackson State, Morehouse, and Prairie View A&M University. In an interview, he said, excellence abounds in every black household, but too often, opportunity does not, and black students are left behind or counted out. It's great that he decided to put his trust in them, and I know that they will plan on increasing their work year after year to help more and more students graduate from HBCUs.
I think it's fair to say that many of us watched this past Super Bowl's halftime show with headliner Kendrick Lamar. There have been people who didn't particularly favor the performance and thought it was too black. But turns out Kendrick broke the NFL Super Bowl halftime record with 133.5 million people watching. TMZ Hip Hop ran into Al Sharpton, where he spoke on K-Dot's halftime performance. Sharpton thought that his performance was the best and will surely buy a mug to hold all of those tears that conservatives might be shedding over the Super Bowl set. Even D.L. Hughley, who told TMZ he was happy that President Trump was there to soak in all of Kendrick Lamar's dazzling display of pro-blackness. With these streams, K-Dot surpassed the legendary halftime shows of legends Michael Jackson and Prince. This now raises the question of whether or not Kendrick is the new GOAT of hip-hop.
If you didn't know, the NBA All-Star Game was played yesterday, Sunday, February 16th at the Chase Center in San Francisco. There were multiple teams playing. On one side, there were a team of 86 combined All-Star selections, making up to $2.7 billion in on-court earnings, and every single NBA player is an NBA champion, an Olympic gold medalist, or both. That team was filled with accomplished players that have been in the NBA for years. The other side was filled with young upcoming stars who are still trying to make a name for themselves, who are just happy to be at the All-Star Game going against the greats. It started off as a good game until the vets took advantage of their time and came out on top with a victory. That's the news for today. Keep watching for more daily segments.
Good evening, Prairie View. I'm Chloe Stubblefield, and this is A Bone to Pick. This evening, we're diving into an issue that has students literally fed up. The food situation at Prairie View A&M University is a serious problem that's leaving students struggling to find proper meals. College life is already a juggling act of classics, exams, and trying to have a social life. But adding food insecurity to the mix, that's a burden no student should have to bear. Students are expected to perform at their best, but how can they when they're running on empty? Food is fuel, and without access to affordable quality meals, students are left exhausted, distracted, and quite frankly, frustrated. PVAMU prides itself on academic excellence, but let's be real, how can we excel when basic needs aren't being met? Now let's talk about what's really going on. Sure, there's food on campus, but that doesn't mean it's good. Students are shelling out thousands of dollars for meal plans, yet they're met with dry chicken, bland vegetables, and the same recycled menu week after week. And the timing, don't get me started. The dining halls close early, leaving students with evening classes or late shifts struggling to find a meal. If you're not in line before a certain time, you might as well kiss dinner goodbye. Everywhere you go, there's a chance you'd have to wait over 10 minutes just for about anything you order. Whether it's Dunkin', Chick-fil-A, or the bowling alley, long lines and slow service are the norm, making grabbing a quick bite nearly impossible. And what's the alternative? Overpriced online delivery fees, or if you're lucky, food from the nearby taco truck. Speaking of nearby, where exactly are students supposed to get groceries? PVAMU is in the middle of a food desert, meaning there's barely any affordable grocery stores within reasonable distance. Without reliable transportation, students are stuck relying on what's available on campus. And let's be honest, that's not cutting it. The university does provide a shuttle service, but many students don't know about it. And those who do often find themselves overcrowded and unreliable. Here's the bottom line. Students should not have to choose between their education and their next meal. PVAMU has the power to fix this, and it's time for action. We need better food quality in the dining halls, more flexible meal plan options, extended dining hours, and more affordable food choices on campus. And let's bring in some real grocery options, whether through partnerships with local stores, a variety of food trucks, or a proper farmer's market. It's 2025. Why are we still dealing with this? PV, it's time to listen. Students are hungry, not just for success, but for actual decent food. If you're tired of dealing with overpriced, low-quality meals and a lack of options, let's use our voices and speak up. Talk to SGA leaders, reach out to administration, and demand change. The student body is the heart of this university, and it's time we get the resources and respect we deserve. For now, I'm Chloe Stubblefield, and this has been A Bone to Pick. Stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay fed.
Hey y'all, I'm Asatu, bringing you your Black History for the day. This is for the culture, so let's get into it. You can always find a group of friends taking a trip somewhere for occasions like birthdays, breaks, or just because. In the YouTube world, there are a lot of influencers collaborating and making content all the time. This group of Black individuals were, if not one of the first ever collab, but the first collab in which 4 big stars in the 60s got together for one night in Miami. These 4 stars were Cassius Clay, Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X. On the night of February 25th, 1964, Clay defeated Sonny Liston, claiming the heavyweight boxing title in the world. Jim Brown actually was one of the radio hosts for the fight. He also just won the NFL championship as well. It seemed like the whole crew was winning. While Jim Brown wanted Clay to go to a luxury after-fight party, Clay wanted to just chill in the Black Hotel. They ended up staying in the Hampton Mews Motel, in which Malcolm X and Sam Cooke later joined them. Besides being the 4 most famous people of color back then, they were best friends. While they did have some fun, you can imagine that they have had the deepest conversations in which it primarily focused on civil rights. See, these were all prominent figures for the civil rights movement in their own way. Back in 1964, a lot took place during the fight of freedom. The March on Washington, when Dr. King's famous "I Had a Dream" speech took place, the March on Selma was kicking off. The death of President Kennedy happened, as well as the death of Medgar Evers. So they were going on, and the conversations which was next was, what is next? The night Cassius Clay converted his religion to Muslim and changed his name to Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke then prompted to make the hit song, "A Change Is Gonna Come." That was his last song before tragically being killed 10 months later in December 11th, 1964. A year after that one night in Miami, Malcolm X had been assassinated. It was a revolutionary devastation. Dr. King called the situation a great tragedy. 2 years later, Muhammad Ali had been convicted in Houston, Texas, for refusing to fight the Vietnam War. His thing was the Vietnam War didn't cause him trouble. Instead, it was the people at home in the United States. Jim Brown continued to be a powerhouse, running back the activist, and eventually started his own debut in Hollywood. Ali died the summer of 2016, and Brown recently died in 2023. These 4 always held each other accountable, and that one night in Miami was the turning point in the civil rights era. I'm your host, Asatu Bailey, and this is For the Culture.
This has been Panther News Network. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and on our YouTube at KPVU-TV. I've been your host, Gabby Handcock.
And I'm Khamari Stewart. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Bye, y'all.